Howdy, what a day. Oh, my Lord. Thank you, Jesus. We said a prayer on the podcast yesterday, and God was right there for us. But you know, as I've always said, God gives us free will. Yes, he had a plan for President Trump. Clearly, God putting his hand on the shoulder of President Trump, sparing his life not once, but twice, giving him the strength to get through all they have thrown against this man with the heart of a lion. We got there. And all of you showed up so big. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to President Trump. This day, folks, is huge. This is a mandate from the American people to the rest of the country to say, you know what? We want to make America America again. Yes, I know President Trump says we want to make America great again, and that's absolutely true. But we got away from being America. It got so bad in this country, we weren't even this country anymore. So yes, I want to make America America again. And let me make this very clear. We're going to talk about what needs to happen now. All of the things that President Trump needs to do. What does he need to do on his first day? What about presidential appointments? Who should run the FBI, the CIA? All of these things. We'll talk about that. But I want to make something very, very clear. I don't want to hear anybody say this is the greatest political comeback of all time. This wasn't a comeback. He was never down. Folks, he won the last election. If he won the last election, if he's been just as popular as he's ever been before, how is it a comeback? It's not. This is the greatest battle. It's the greatest fight. It's the greatest victory of all time. No one has ever had more things thrown at them from, as I mentioned, bullets to legal cases, to the globalists, to the Democrats. But it's not a comeback. He was there, and he was always there for us. He just took what was rightfully his the last time around. And oh, by the way, Kamala Harris right now has 61 million votes to President Trump's almost 72 million. Joe Biden had 81 million. Where did the 20 million votes go? If this doesn't raise your eyes to our eyebrows to what's going on and what happened last time around, I don't know what should. Yes, we won the popular vote. That's great. She lost 20 million votes from last time around. I'm telling you, the last election was a hit job, was rigged. It's in the past. We did it. Everything that was done, I said I didn't think we went far enough with election integrity, but we got us over the hump. Make it too big to rig. Swamp the vote. All of you did it. So we're going to listen to some of President Trump's speech today. We're going to celebrate all of this because it really is a beautiful, gorgeous day for this. A beautiful day in Pinehurst, Ren Optic says. Boy, I wish I was at Pinehurst. I bet President Trump wishes he was there too. So a good day. All right, folks, before I get into everything, you know, I like to thank my sponsors right off the bat. I want to tell you about Energized Health, energizedhealth.com/grant. I'm in some of the best shape of my life right now. I'm 55 years old, and I can thank Energized Health for this. 88-day program I went through. No crazy diets, no crazy workouts, just changing around some of the things I eat, changing around how I eat them, about intercellular hydration. This intercellular hydration, I think, is the key, the science behind it. It's simple, but it's fantastic. Changed my life. I lost 15 pounds. I gained muscle mass, lost visceral fat. My hydration levels are up. You name it, everything's looking good. Thanks to energizedhealth.com/grant. I urge you to go there. There's personalized coaching. There's daily videos. There's weekly Zoom calls. There's recipes. There's everything you need to be successful in a total mind, body, soul transformation. So if you want to lose 200 pounds, 20 pounds, 10 pounds, Energized Health is where it is. I'm a huge fan of these guys. Energizedhealth.com/grant. Go there today and take your life back. All right, so we're talking about President Trump. What needs to happen? Well, first and foremost, I want to pay tribute to God. I do believe God played a role in this. God had a plan for America, and I believe God may have even had a plan for America by giving us Joe Biden for 4 years. America needed to see how bad it would get, and it got bad. Crime ran rampant in the streets. The price of everything soared. Gas prices through the roof. Our enemies went on the march, foreign and domestic. We all remember the Black Lives Matter riots here, and we know what happened to our friends in Israel there. The world goes nuts under Joe Biden. And it reminded us that we need a steady hand with a strong voice and the heart of a lion, as I said. And that is, of course, President Trump. He will bring peace back to the world. We will once again get peace back into our vocabulary again. We'll bring prices down, all of those things. We'll secure our border. All of that is going to happen. Now, God plays a role. God played a role in the creation of this country. There's a reason why this country is the greatest in the nation, and I believe God is one of those reasons because we embrace him. One of the people we embrace now, though, most certainly is President Trump. God bless this man.
Thank you very much. Wow. Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends in this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond.
I'm going to tell you something, folks. When President Trump calls this a movement, the greatest political movement of our time, I want you to know, from my time spent with President Trump, even in a limited fashion, he will tell you this movement isn't about him. This movement is about all of you. And I want every single one of you to bask in the glory of this movement. Yes, President Trump founded the Make America Great Again movement. Yes, President Trump leads it. Yes, President Trump is the only one that could bring us success through the MAGA movement at this time. But we'd be nothing without all of you. We won the popular vote. We won in states we weren't supposed to win in. We're winning in Wisconsin. We won in Pennsylvania. We won in where it looks like we're going to win in Michigan. We're winning around this country like you wouldn't believe. We've got Senate races. Tammy Baldwin looks like she's going to go down. Fat John Tester looks like he's going to go down in Montana. All of this is a tribute, and it should tell the world that my faith, your faith, should be restored in this country and who we are as a people. America has a way of resetting itself. If it didn't turn out this way, I don't even know how I would have done a show today. I don't know what we would have been on the verge of. Our country would have been on the literally crisis mode, destruction at hand. I don't know how you move forward with 4 years of Kamala Harris. Thankfully, we don't have to talk about that. And you know what? It was decisive, which tells me that America resetting itself, we got back to the basics. Limited government, safe and secure streets, free markets. That's it. Free markets goes to everything, by the way. Brings down inflation, brings down grocery prices, gets you drilling again. It's free markets, getting government out of the way and let private enterprise do their thing and let the markets work. And good Lord willing, everything works out. So yes, we have America. I see it on the horizon. Now, this doesn't start until January 20th. We'll start to see effects of this. World leaders will start to take note of what happens. I wonder what China will do right now. China is in a precarious position. It wants Taiwan, but now they know President Trump's coming in just a couple months. So what does China do? Does China try to take Taiwan? My gut feeling tells me no. My gut feeling says China's not in a position right now to do this with their economy. They know President Trump's coming in. He could send them a debilitating blow. Then the question becomes, do they unleash another virus on us? These are the things that President Trump is going to have to worry about. I believe these are the things that will keep President Trump up at night. But I also believe President Trump keeps others up at night. And that's a good thing. That's why we wanted him back.
We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president.
Oh, folks, it makes me so happy just to hear him say it. It is a beautiful morning. Great morning from Spring, Texas, writes Tiff Music. Thank you, Tiff. Great morning for the country. When you talk about a great victory, you think about what they pushed at him. You had the globalists, led by the Klaus Schwabs of the world, literally doing everything they can do to stop President Trump. The globalists partner with the deep state. The deep state has its tentacles into the Department of Justice. We know what the Department of Justice has done. What does Jack Smith do today now? Jack Smith better watch his back, man, because he should be fired. And quite frankly, I think Jack Smith ought to be prosecuted for abusing his position of power, which wasn't even a legal position of power, by the way, anyway. So you got the deep state, the globalists, the Department of Justice, rogue prosecutors at a local level. When you look at what happened in Atlanta, what happened in New York, and don't forget, President Trump is still due to be sentenced. What does that judge in New York do now? That the greatest jury in the world had ruled on President Trump's cases, and that ruling was not guilty on all counts. The American public puts President Trump back into the White House. That is a resounding ruling on where this country believes President Trump should be, not in prison, but in the White House. So what are you going to do, Judge? On top of the rogue prosecutors, rogue judges, the Department of Justice, the deep state, the globalists, you, of course, had the fake news media. The fake news media did everything they could do from the moment he came down the escalator nearly 10 years ago now to today. The Russian collusion hoax, the classified documents hoax, every single hoax that imaginable they bring on this guy. The fake news stories. Just recently, we talked about Liz Cheney firing squad, that there are good people that are Nazis. Remember that? Good people hoax, all of that nonsense. The fake news media, Trump beats them back. You had the fake polls. Again, for the most part, the polls were wrong. Pollsters I had on this program were right. And you may remember this podcast yesterday. He called it. Mark Mitchell called it, said he underweighted President Trump and that he believes he was going to win bigger and possibly all the swing states. That's a huge, huge deal. He got it right, Rasmussen. We called it here yesterday. We woke up to a victory to President Trump. That's a great news. And by the way, that's going to spare this country a lot of pain. Now, the question is, will the radicals riot today? Do the Black Lives Matter Antifa loons come out of their crevices and cracks, and do they take to the streets? Do they burn down auto zones? Do they go and rob, loot, and steal from mom and pop stores on main streets across America? I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. My gut feeling tells me maybe it's not going to happen. The vote was so overwhelming. It's not close like they wanted it to be. I hope the riots don't start. And then, of course, what else did President Trump overcome? The assassinations. God put a hand on his shoulder, and whatever power was in that glorious chart up there, President Trump turns his ear right at the last moment. Boom. Life spared. My son, he's 15 years old, fires a rifle not that often. He could have made that shot from there. Only God saved President Trump's life because he's got bigger plans for God. He's got bigger plans for this country. The world needs America, and America needs Trump. Here's another one from President Trump.
And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.
The golden age of America starts right now. So what is the process that begins to unfold? President Trump will dispatch people like John Ratcliffe You may remember him, was so instrumental to President Trump's last administration as far as the intelligence apparatus goes. You'll have John Ratcliffe. You'll have people like Sebastian Gorka. You've got Linda McMahon. You've got others like Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr. on this transition team, and they will go hunting down the best talent that they can find. This is what they will go for. And they will start to fill the hundreds of positions that President Trump has. All the while, President Trump will start writing executive orders. Those executive orders will be printed off and ready to go on letterhead to be signed day one, and it starts with the border. Excuse me. Starts with the border, seal it off. We know the drill. Remain in Mexico. Start reconstruction of the wall, right? Make a phone call to the president of Mexico and say, you stop right now the illegal immigration coming through your country to our border. If you do not, we throw a monster tariff on all goods and services coming in to the United States. Now, Democrats will scream, that's going to raise costs for Americans. No, it won't. Because in the end, what happens is they will not, excuse me, Mexico will abide by President Trump's mandates, by President Trump's request. And then you tell Mexico, we're coming in with special forces to take out the cartels. We're done with the cartels. The fentanyl coming into this country, they've killed too many Americans. The cartels will be under attack. This is the mandate, I believe, that was given to President Trump by the American people. Scott Jennings over at CNN, he's done a great job as a regular on CNN, giving the conservative perspective. This was him basically on the verge of President Trump being elected into office, where it just has become pretty clear that he was going to get the nomination, get the office.
This is a mandate. He's won the national popular vote for the first time for a Republican, for the first time since 2004. This is a big deal. This isn't backing into the office. This is a mandate to do what you said you were going to do. Get the economy working again for regular working class Americans, fix immigration, try to get crime under control, try to reduce the chaos in the world. This is a mandate from the American people to do that. I think I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. I mean, we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line. And we were just ignoring the fundamentals. Inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best. That was the fundamentals of the election. And so I think that both parties should always look at the results of an election and figure out what went right and what went wrong. But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said, we've had enough.
You know what he just did there? He scolded the panel members of CNN, Anderson Cooper and Van Jones, and I don't even know the rest of them in there. I try not to watch. Of course, we report on their nonsense on a daily basis. And what Jennings was just spelling out there was the nonsense that we get pushed on a daily basis. And I believe he's correct. This is the revenge of the working class. I'll get back to that in a moment and how important that is. But before we do, folks, I want to tell you about my friends over at Colonial Metals Group. It is such an important portfolio protection maneuver to consider putting money into gold, okay? Colonial Metals can help you. This is about safety and security. This is about privacy. We know that central banks across the world are buying up gold at a record pace. As President Trump tries to piece this world back together, there is no safer place for money that at least stood the test of time as gold. So I want you to go get your free gold guide at freegoldguide.com/grant. freegoldguide.com/grant. Our friends at Colonial Metals can help you. So many of my viewers, Rumble viewers, have used Colonial Metals with great success to protect their portfolio with metals. You can call them at 800-458-7356, 800-458-7356. You know what's a great play here, too, is the IRA or 401k. They can help you maneuver some of that money into an IRA 401k based off of precious metals. This is, again, is a great addition to your portfolio. Colonial Metals Group, freegoldguide.com/grant, 800-458-7356. Talk to them about the free silver you could also receive with an initial deposit with them. All right. Colonial Metals Group, freegoldguide.com/grant. All right. So now, as we look at this, we talked a little bit about what happens to the court cases. I think in many respects, every federal case now goes away because President Trump can literally just pardon himself. Now, I would like to see, you guys are going to go think I'm crazy on this. I need to debate this. I was just flying by the seat of my pants here now. I think I want to see if Joe Biden doesn't pardon his son, Hunter, I want to see President Trump pardon Hunter. And I'll tell you why. I believe Hunter was a victim of Joe Biden. Joe Biden sent Hunter Biden into the belly of the beast, dispatched a drug addict sex fiend to go deal with some of the most rough and tumble, evil, violent, brutal, nefarious individuals on the face of the earth. I believe Hunter Biden was a victim of his father and his father's greed. He ought to pardon Hunter Biden. I don't know what he should do with Joe Biden yet. I got to think on that. You know, think about what the Democrats did to us. They did the exact opposite of what I'm offering up President Trump to do. They went after us with a vengeance. The J6ers, and let me tell you something, before President Trump pardons Hunter Biden, he's got to pardon these J6ers. And I think he will. Now, there are a few that did some rough and tumble things. Maybe they don't get a full pardon, but maybe they get out of prison. Nobody deserves to be in prison for as long as they are right now. We still have dozens sitting awaiting trial in many cases. President Trump needs to end this charade, and he needs to do it right now. These J6ers all need to have their records expunged, cleaned. I think he will do that. So they went after us. I think there are some that we need to go after. Those that broke the law inside the Department of Justice that we can prove broke the law, weaponized the system, faked evidence, which we know happened under Jack Smith. Those people need to be prosecuted. Political foes, political enemies. What are you going to do with Liz Cheney? She's a useless old hag. But I like to see us go after her. I guess if I want vengeance. I got a country to save. President Trump has a country to save. We got business to do right now. I don't know if that's going to do us any good, but boy, am I thinking a lot different than Democrats do. And as I lay this out for you too, this is very sincere. I know that there are a lot of Democrats out there that hate me, that hate you as members of Stinchfield's Army. They despise us because we speak the truth. We love freedom. We think we make better decisions for ourselves than the government does. And they just can't handle that. But I want to prove to them that a free America that operates with some certainty in the economy, that allows investors to be unleashed, that in a country like that where free markets are allowed to take over and we get government out of the way, that their lives will be so improved. I want them to have a prosperous, joyful 4 years under President Trump. I really do. I want to say after 4 years, now that wasn't so bad, wasn't it? In fact, that was better than the 4 years under Joe Biden, wasn't it? We're safer. We got more money in our pockets. We're not in as much danger on a foreign scale as we are under Joe Biden. This is pretty good. And all I want these leftists to say is, you know what? Can't argue with them. And that's how we start to change this country. And I don't know if we do that by needlessly or willy-nilly going after every political foe. Only go after the real ones who broke the law and did something wrong, unconstitutional. We can go after them. People deserve to be punished when you broke the law. Now foreign policy. What does President Trump do on that front? I think just the sheer fact that President Trump is back in office calms a lot down. I do believe he will get Putin and Zelensky together. Zelensky already sucking up to President Trump. I think he'll get Putin and Zelensky back together, and they'll negotiate something. They'll get together. Look at some of the foreign leaders that are congratulating President Trump, but they all come from conservative nations. Javier Milei. This is the leader in Argentina. At Real Donald Trump, congratulations on your formidable electoral victory. Now make America great again. You know that. You can count on Argentina to carry out your task. Success and blessings. Best regard, Javier Milei. It's great. Orban Viktor, who is the leader of Hungary. Very simple. Good morning, Hungary. On the way to a wonderful win. And he's got the picture there. He's got CNN on with old Tapper, who's crying this morning. Old Tapper cannot be happy. Oh, well. And then there's Nigel Farage, a great conservative warrior leader. He's done it again, the most incredible political comeback of our lifetime. And again, I'll reiterate to you, it is not a political comeback. It is the greatest political victory of all time. But President Trump was never back to come back from. He was always right there. We always had his back. He never left. It's when you had people like Britt Hume saying, oh, he'll never come back from this after January 6th. What? On January 6th in the afternoon, I knew the thing was a hoax. I knew that the left would blow it out of proportion. Certainly, I knew it on January 7th, and the further I went, I read, this is out of control leftist nonsense. Well, the American people didn't buy the leftist media's bullcorn. Bullcorn like this from Joy Reid last night.
You just think about just the last 2 weeks and the things that Donald Trump has said into the TV that people could hear him say and do, the vulgarity in front of families with young children and the threats to do mass deportation and a violent start to his dictatorship on day one. And you name it. If all of that gets you half of the votes,
48, 49%.
What does it tell you? I mean, we need to really take a step back and think about what does that say about us?
I mean, what does it say about President Trump has only been hopeful through this whole process. Now, they called us garbage, okay? Mark Cuban said President Trump doesn't surround himself with strong women when we've got the strongest women in the world surrounding President Trump. The women that support President Trump are some of the strongest in the world. And yet we're all garbage. Patrick on YouTube writes in the chat, great to be American garbage today. Thanks to everyone that voted. I love being American garbage. I'm happy to be American garbage. So now Joy Reid, who just looks angry, man. I mean, she is, but I mean, I'd be angry if I was her too. If I'm a leftist radical loon and my leftist radical loon candidate lost, you better believe I'd be angry. And then I see that Florida is no longer a swing state. Do you remember when Florida was a swing state? Ron DeSantis, I got mad at you when you ran against President Trump. But I'm going to give you props. You have turned Florida around. And you have gotten that state to a point it's a reliable red state. And it's getting redder and redder by the day. And I'm proud of what you've done to Florida. Joy Reid, not so much.
Governor DeSantis has bet his political future on being the champion of denying women their rights over their own bodies. He's competing, obviously, with the governor of Texas. He's thinking about a future in which he would like to inherit Donald Trump's white evangelical base. And he's decided that this is his marker, and he's been willing to use really the awesome powers of the state to try to intimidate and bully even television stations in the state against running ads in favor of that protection. So it will defy all of the other states, including very, very red states that have protected women. Florida, in a lot of ways, it's going to be interesting. And when Stephanie's back, it will be interesting to talk about what Florida's future looks like as a place that can attract corporate headquarters and investment.
Excuse me. Corporations are flocking to Florida because it's a free state. The tax environment in Florida is fabulous. The protections you have as a business owner in Florida from overreach and frivolous lawsuits are fabulous. The real estate and the environment and the economy in Florida is fabulous. There's people flocking there. Good conservatives. And you know what? If no liberals go to Florida, I'd be happy. I wish no liberals would come to Texas. I'd be happy. You can take California. Just take it. Just everybody that's a liberal move to California and take it. Unless you want to learn. If you want to open your eyes and you want to see what's best for America. And this idea, folks, that it's going to be the Handmaid's Tale. I told you my co-host of the morning, Jen Horn, her mom had said that women aren't going to be able to get credit cards anymore if President Trump becomes president, as if the war on women is going to get so bad that we're going to take their credit cards away. Now, do you know what would happen to the economy if credit cards were taken from women? And it's not just women. This is not a sexist joke that women like to buy things. They do, but this is not that. This isn't you're taking half the population's ability to purchase things. You'd be taking it away. President Trump wants an economy rocking and rolling. Not taking credit cards away from women. The fact that I'm even talking about it is ridiculous. But they painted this picture of the Handmaid's Tale, that women would virtually be in shackles, at home, barefoot and pregnant. Which, ridiculous. Ridiculous. And the American people saw through it. And I think the mainstream media is going to have a reset now in all of this. Because as you break down exactly where the numbers came in, and when you break down how they came in, this says it all. All right? Listen, this is Fox talking about some of the numbers and where they came in.
First up, timing of your vote. We know so many went out for early voting. Let's see how those votes are breaking down in Georgia. Those who cast their vote early, look at this. They did not prefer a candidate if they early voted. It is split 49 for Harris, 49 for Trump. All right, let's look at some of these other key data points. We know race was huge. The black vote was huge for Biden when he won by just a bit in Georgia there in 2020. So let's look at how they are turning out in this election. All right. This is the first time we can break this down
Now, before she breaks it down, back in 2016, I said if President Trump could get to 13% of the black vote, the Democrats would never win another election again. He's 15% in Georgia. All right. That's 2 percentage points higher than where I thought he could be. Now, I actually believe it's even higher than this number, but we'll let her continue.
Black voters and their support for Kamala Harris. While strong, she is below where Biden was in 2020, 4 years ago. This number for Biden was more like 91. So she's running about 8 points behind where Biden was with the black vote in Georgia in 2020. All right, I have another data point where I'm going to combine this with gender, okay? So now you look at the black male voter in Georgia. We know both candidates have spent a lot of time courting them there. Democrats have been trying to convince them.
So he's at 25% in Georgia. Georgia was an important bellwether state because it basically, remember the last time around, we lost Georgia. How? I have no idea. Again, I'm going to go back to what I said at the beginning of the show. Kamala Harris lost 20 million votes from where Joe Biden was. That makes no sense. The votes, I believe, were fake the last time around. This is proof. You're telling me you had more votes during the pandemic, 20 million more votes? It should have been less, right? If we were told the pandemic was suppressing the vote, but no, they mailed ballots to everybody in so many states. I think it was rigged. I know it. So now he's got 25% of the black men in Georgia. I think the number is higher. Every time I talk to black men, they talk about President Trump being their guy. Now, in many respects, these numbers don't matter today because we've won. I was talking about this for the Real America's Voice show. My new producer's like, well, we got to bring a pollster on and talk about how we won. And well, let's look at backwards. I really don't have time to look backwards. I want to look forward. Now, I may bring on our pollster, Mark Mitchell, because he nailed it. And talk about that a little bit, just to celebrate today. But really, I need to be looking forward. That's what this podcast is about what President Trump needs to do. You got the FBI to worry about as well, and all of those things. Before we talk about the FBI and filling his team, President Trump's team, I want to tell you about my friends over at Patriot Mobile. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. I have a Patriot Mobile phone. I wish you would get one too. I tell you about them all the time. They stand in the gap. They take great heat from the mainstream media. They proudly declare themselves as America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. It's about a parallel economy. I want to support businesses that believe in the things I do. They have been right there with me on my radio show, on my podcast, on the TV show at Real America's Voice. Patriot Mobile is with me and so many other conservatives every step of the way. They allow us to get this message out. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. Make the switch. You can choose which carrier you want to be on, what network. So you're going to get the same service around the country. Only you're going to pay Patriot Mobile and you get their U.S.-based customer service, which is great. U.S.-based. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. Use the promo code GRANT. You'll get first month free. Great savings. PatriotMobile.com/Grant. Use that promo code GRANT, or you can call them at 972-PATRIOT. 972-PATRIOT. Know every call you make goes to help push conservative causes in the right direction. Know that you're saving America. You're part of a parallel economy. You're part of Stinchfield's army. Make the switch today. Stop funding the woke left. 972-PATRIOT. You tell them Grant Stinchfield sent you. All right. So what does President Trump do now about his new administration? I think we got to start with the FBI and the CIA, and I think two of those agencies need to be overhauled, including, I guess you would throw the Department of Justice in there. That can be easily done with a new attorney general. Who would you like to see as attorney general? There's talk about Ken Paxton from Texas. He's a good friend of mine. I think Ken Paxton would be a great attorney general. He is unafraid, okay, of just about anything. This guy is not scared. And they have thrown arrows at him like they do at Trump. They want him stopped, which tells me all the more reason we need a guy like that in there. Ken Paxton would be great. You also have Governor Abbott. I think he'd probably be gunning for attorney general. I'm not a real big fan of Governor Abbott taking that role, but we'll see what he does. Now, to lead the FBI, what if you put a guy like Kash Patel, another good friend of mine, in charge of the FBI? To break it down and rebuild it. I'm not sure you have to rebrand it. I don't think you need to change the name, but I'd love to see the headquarters moved out of Washington into the heartland of America. Move the headquarters to Oklahoma City. Move the headquarters to Dallas. Dallas may be a good city, actually, now that I think about it. Not only is it my city, but you have DFW Airport. You can get anywhere in the country direct in a matter of just a couple hours. Dallas may be where you should move the FBI headquarters. And then I'd get my buddy Kash Patel closer. Then you talk about the CIA. Devin Nunes would be a great leader of the CIA. He was on the Intel Committee. You know, he's so close to President Trump, running Truth Social. This would be a great move for President Trump to put Devin Nunes in charge of the CIA. I love it. These are the types of things President Trump is going to have to start thinking about as we move forward. Now, is there a spot for Mike Pompeo again? I don't think so. People are talking about it. He was a good Secretary of State. I will say that we got a lot done with him and all, but he kind of faltered and then he came back. I don't know. I do think there should be a spot for Linda McMahon again, maybe even a bigger role than Small Business Administration. Maybe Secretary of Commerce for Linda McMahon. I would love to see Robert F. Kennedy Jr. put in charge of the FDA. I really would. I think that would be very interesting. And if you want to reach across the aisle, now I don't think he'd do it because I'm so mad at this guy, Mark Cuban, who I know, and I know him fairly well. I mean, his locker is next to mine at the gym. We see each other on occasion. We razz each other on Twitter, though that hasn't happened in a while, but I know the guy. I used to think he was pretty smart. This Kamala Harris thing was dumb. But you might want to think about putting Mark Cuban in charge of the SEC. It would be a, what do you call it? A fig leaf across the aisle? An olive branch? Whatever you call it. It would be a token of appreciation to the left. Put him in charge of the SEC. You know, he hates the SEC. I think he'd actually probably do a decent job there. Something to think about. I'm sure you probably think I'm crazy on that one. And then, you know, you've got places for Elon Musk. It's imperative. I don't think he goes in a cabinet position, but you put him in charge of government efficiency, create a special office for him where he goes in and cuts budgets. And you give him overrule power maybe to some of these cabinet secretaries. I think that would be a fabulous idea. Elon Musk, government efficiency and accountability. Secretary of Defense, there's a lot of choices there for this. You've got to find some good generals. You know, my buddy Alan West, I always really liked him. I don't know if they give him something like that, but he'd be a good one, and he's a real conservative, and he loves President Trump as well. So these are the things that you need to think about that President Trump will be thinking about now. I wonder if he plays golf today. And here's my last message for President Trump before I let you all go. And this one is sobering. I am so concerned for President Trump's safety. I know they did everything they could do to stop him, and they couldn't stop him. They threw the book at him with lawfare. They had assassination attempts, and assassins tried to take him out. They tried to beat him with cheating. They can't beat the man because he is Godzilla. Will they try again to kill him? I believe you better believe it. And I believe that he needs to be protected. I'd almost say hunker down. Now, you don't ever want to let them win by controlling your movements. But this Secret Service better be on its game, and I really worry about whether or not it is. I'm glad the rallies for the moment are over. It takes him out of harm's way for a little while. But I believe they're going to be coming for President Trump, and I think that's not going to stop throughout his entire presidency. So please, on that front, say a prayer for this man. God bless America, man. And it is a great day. God bless all of you. I appreciate you listening, tuning in today. Thank you. And a final thanks to my sponsor, the Wellness Company, that offered up this commercial. Just take a look.
Do you really trust her to run this country for the next 4 years? How have the last 4 years gone under him? Well, your tax dollars are being funneled overseas, and to support illegal immigration, they've left our people behind, offering just $750 in aid as if that's enough. With political insanity that we're living through, supply chain shortages, natural disasters, and the looming threat of another pandemic, you need to prepare your family now. The Wellness Company offers 5 critical medical kits packed with life-saving medications like ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, amoxicillin, Z-Pak, and more. Each kit is backed by Dr. Peter McCullough. Ordering is simple. Just a few clicks and it's delivered to your door. Head to twc.health/grant and use code GRANT to save up to $60 off plus free shipping. That's twc.health/grant and use code GRANT to save up to $60 off plus free shipping right now.
Well, folks, it's a good message. Almost the last time we can run that commercial because it doesn't really fit anymore. She didn't win. But I do believe you should go with the Wellness Company, twc.health/grant and get one of those kits. Lastly, Kamala Harris was dopey, and I think she sealed her own fate. The fish rots from the head. You've probably heard me say that if you watch this program. If you don't, if you haven't watched this program, if you're new to it, thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to the channel, like it, copy the link, share it on social media, spread the word everywhere you can. Feel free to take clips and cut this up and share it if you'd like. I will never come after you for sharing my content. It is about getting the message out. But why did she lose? And why did we win? Well, the Daily Wire offered this up. These are her supporters. They have nothing. These were her supporters.
Harris.
And why is that?
Because Trump is Trump. That's it. It don't matter. I don't have to know anything about Harris. I'd never vote for a person like Trump.
Kamala Harris.
And why is that?
I believe in democracy. January 6th, felon, sexual assault, classified documents, misogyny, racism. Need I go on?
What is the main reason that you want Kamala to win?
Because he said he's going to be a dictator, and because of January the 6th. The economy that was decent when he was there was because of Obama, not because of him.
The main reason is racism. Racism of Donald Trump and his supporters. And I don't really like that he wants to bring back discrimination. And that's a big deal to me.
I'm not nuts about the choices, but I can't vote for Trump because of his, just the things that he does all the time.
I see a lot of...
Do you see what's happening? They literally have nothing. Nothing at all. Nothing but hate for President Trump. There's no policy. There's nothing. Just, I can't vote for Trump. Trump. It is literally Trump derangement syndrome. These are the people I want to reach. That after 4 years, I want them to say, you know what? This has been fabulous. I understand now what you're saying about these free markets and secure borders and drilling for oil. I love it. Now, would you like to see Trump supporters? This is why we win. This is why I have so much more faith in America today than I did yesterday, because we did make the right decision. We did reset. We did send the radicals packing.
When he was in office, life was good. Now that he's not, it's pretty hard. This is actually my first time ever voting.
Really?
And it's Trump.
The economy.
Okay.
Yeah, trying to, pay my mortgage and my bills and buy food and everything. It's very hard now. It came from a food bank. That's how bad it's getting, yeah.
Internationally, he did a good job there. They believed him when he said, if you do this, then I'm going to do this. And you got to do that with people in China and Russia and places like that.
I think my top issues is all the illegal immigrants coming in, and I think inflation's really high. If we look 4 years ago, inflation was really low, interest rates were low, groceries were a lot cheaper. So I think that's just a clear choice.
Donald Trump, we had a better economy when I wasn't a big fan of him back when he first was voting. He, has his voice, and he says things that maybe, we don't all agree with, but we had a better economy when Trump was in office.
For those people struggling paycheck to paycheck.
This is what I'm talking about, folks. Those are Trump supporters. They talked about real issues. They didn't even talk about, well, I got to vote for President Trump because I hate Kamala Harris. They didn't talk about her because she's a radical. She's ruining this country. Those would all be legitimate reasons to vote for President Trump, but they talked about President Trump's policies. Kamala Harris didn't have any. I think if there's a lesson to be learned here, if you're a politician running, don't go hard left. The American people will reject it. It took us 4 years to learn why we need to reject it. But you need to offer up people a plan. You can't just say, I hate somebody else and then expect to win. We need a plan, and a real plan of how you're going to do it. And telling people you're going after grocery stores for price gouging, nobody's buying that. All right? This is why President Trump won. Not to mention, he's so strong, so brave. He's got the resolve like I've never seen before, the energy like I've never seen before. And I think we're going to be great, folks. The next 4 years are going to be fun. There'll be things that happen. There'll be crises. There'll be chaos at times. But overall, things will be better. And when those times occur, the world has ups and downs, just like your life does, my life does. We're going to have a man at the helm that can navigate us through those times of chaos. That we don't have now. God bless all of you for voting. God bless all of you for watching. I'm grateful to you. Stinchfield's Army rolls. We will see you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the Real America's Voice show tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Real America's Voice everywhere on a streaming platform. And one last time, don't forget, give me a follow on all the social media platforms at Stinchfield1776. Again, Stinchfield's Army rolls. See you all tomorrow, folks. God bless President Trump.